I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome LaceyLoveK to the show. Hi, Lacey.
Hello.
Yeah, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, I am LaceyLoveK, or just Lacey. I am a variety PNG VTuber from the south of England. I do everything and anything because that's what I like to do. I don't like to stick to one thing.
You are a definite variety streamer.
Oh, yes. 100%.
So when did you get started with it?
Oh, about probably 2-3 roughly years ago now. I was working a job that I loved doing in practice, but couldn't keep up with just due to like my physical health. I have a lot of conditions. And so I had a lot of time off work where I couldn't go in. So in that time off work, I wanted to do things. And I started off by just streaming a few little games for my friends, like, you know, posting like me doing art on Twitch and things like that. And from there, it became more of a community-based thing, a thing that I like to do with other people, collabing with like other streamers, and then sort of branching out into anything and everything that I could.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's been 3 years of it's sort of experimenting, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're comfortable with it now, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm too comfortable sometimes.
A little too familiar with everybody there.
I like fall into this. I'll start a stream and I'll be like really ready to be professional and be super good at playing the games, and then after maybe 10 minutes, I'm just fallen back into being a fool. I am a fool for everyone's entertainment. I'm like a little medieval jester ready to just play games badly, make silly jokes, and just chat to people. That's the fun bit, really, is just chatting to the viewers.
I didn't know people could die playing Uno. Well, you know.
Somehow I've achieved it.
Achievement that goes on top of the screen. Achievement earned.
Yeah. If there's a way to fail at a game, I'll do it.
Have you always been a gamer?
Not massively. When I was really young, we didn't really have a lot of money for consoles and games.
Yeah.
I didn't play my first video game until I was about 13 or 14, when my stepdad brought an Xbox 360 and a copy of Fable 2. And then Mass Effect 2. I started a lot of games on the second games in a series.
Yes. Well, by then they have the practice done, and then you get the good game with too.
Yeah. Like, so I started picking up around then, and I probably replayed Fable and Mass Effect 2 like 100 times in my life. And it wasn't until I got a PC that was very kindly gifted to me by my friend just before I started streaming that I kind of branched out into other games. Like, I picked up Overwatch to play with my friends, which was a horrible decision. It was so stressful, but it was fun because it was with people. And I'm terrible at FPS shooters.
Yeah.
But it was something to do with friends. So I started from there and then just snowballed into playing anything I could, because there's so much story in so many games that I didn't even know was there until I had the ability to play them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't, if you don't dip your toe in the water, you don't know how you like to get wet with it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so you don't know. Maybe you like horror games. You don't know it until you try one. I would rather run away and hide under anything I could than play a horror game.
I am a fiend for horror games. I love them, but I get so scared, and I end up screaming and throwing the mouse or whatever. Like, it's, I'm on the other side of the room, but I enjoy that, like, adrenaline of it, the challenge.
Yeah.
I always try and get my friends to play them with me, but to no luck.
Yeah. Would you rather have the jump scare variety or the long con scare?
Oh, a long con scare. I like it to draw out. I don't want to be, anyone will scream at a jump scare. You can have a jump scare in any genre of game and it will scare you, but I like it to be suspenseful and slow and like almost build up that sense of paranoia where you're sat there in your gaming like room or whatever at your desk and you're looking over your shoulder in real life because you're like, oh no, what could be here? Is there something in here with me?
Yeah, sounds like my job.
Just like creeping people
Yes.
in, like
What
what,
the
being
heck?
the little like scary monster or being the person who is paranoid. What's your job?
Yeah, but for folks who enjoy it, and it's great. It's great the reactions on stream when
Mm.
folks go through that, and chat seems to enjoy that so much too.
Yeah, yeah. They like seeing streamers suffer is what we joke.
Exactly. They're there
Yeah,
for your pain. They'll laugh at your pain.
yeah.
Um,
They come here to bully me. That's what they do.
so you got kind of started as a chance to do something rather than sitting at home and not being able to do anything. Um,
Yeah.
when you got into it and realized that you were starting to get an audience and people who are coming back to stay with you and over again, how did that hit you?
Oh, it was lovely. Genuinely, it was, and it still is. You know, when I see a new face pop in, I try and talk to people as much as possible because I was very lonely
Mm.
and very sad around that time, and so having people come in and chat to you and want to tell you about their day or want to hear about your day, it was very special. Not to sound really, emotional and but it was, and it is nice. And when you see people come back and they want to tell you something about their life that's happened and they get really excited to share that with you, that's lovely. And that's, I think, just a beautiful part of the human experience that can so often be forgotten about in the day-to-day life, especially after everything that happened in 2020 where everyone kind of isolated back into themselves.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
having people come in to a chat and feel comfortable enough to put in a little message and talk about themselves, ask a question, it's lovely, and it's nice to build up that rapport with people and see them want to keep coming back. It makes you feel like you're giving them something nice that they can look forward to.
Yeah.
And I love entertaining. I love providing something that people can look forward to.
Yeah, it's fulfilling, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It really is.
Just almost justifying type of thing, or you're like, yeah, I mean, I could be sitting here and just kind of watching television, or I can actually interact with people, and what I think a lot of VTubers do is create their own world with it,
Yeah.
and you're in control of it for the most part. I mean, 99% of it, and you've got the rules, you've got the things, and you get to present yourself in the way you want to present yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like make a character in a sense. Although I say that,
Mm.
I'm not very good at doing the whole serious and like I said before, like I try and go into every stream being like, I'm going to be this really cool collected version of myself, and then within 20 minutes I'm crying because I can't do simple math or something like that. It's I feel like a version of myself that I can be more honest when I stream, as opposed to the version that I have to mask to be more almost manageable, more palatable in like the outside world. When I come here, I can really sort of take down that character and be more authentic to myself instead, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is very different to a lot of other streamers. Like you said, they like to inhabit a character or have like this beautiful lore or this like incredible story, and they do like voices and have like phrases and things. But to me, it's like I'm taking off the character, and I can just be myself.
Yeah, and without having to deal with eye contact.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. As an autistic person, yes.
Yes.
It's so difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I when I was in radio for a long time, I knew I had a fairly decent audience at times, but I didn't have to look at them. And when I
Yes.
did have to walk out into where I knew there was like four-digit amounts of people there and talk, that's a little different.
Oh yes,
That's quite a mountain to
I
climb there.
fully understand that.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. I used to be a singer,
Mm.
and I would sing on these vast stages in front of so many people, and
Oh.
it was terrifying until I got to the point where the lights are on and you can't see past the first row.
Ah.
And that to me is kind of like what streaming is you can't see past the first row. You know there's people there, but you're only seeing like, there's a few people chatting or whatever, and it's kind of that little smoke and mirrors effect that gives you the confidence of like, it's okay.
That's pretty
It's
brilliant.
okay, we can do this.
That's a pretty brilliant metaphor there. I like that. I'm going to steal it. Um,
Please do.
yes. Oh, so you were out and on stage and performing. Was it a solo act? Were you part of a band, a
Yeah.
group?
Yeah, I was solo. I did it for years. My goal was I wanted to be a professional singer. I wanted to do the whole glitz and glam, make it big, because that was what everyone told me I was supposed to do. Like
Yeah.
from the age of 11, I performed a solo in a church for the Christmas service.
Oh.
And the teacher went to my mum and she said, she's got something.
Hmm.
You need to give her professional lessons.
Yeah.
And I did that for my life. I performed in stages all over the country. I performed in Wembley in London. I performed
Oh.
in guild halls all up and down the south. I performed at festivals, weddings, even funerals.
Oh.
And it would be people from all over the country would come to me and say, hey, can you please do this? Can you do that? We'd love to have you here. We'd love to have you there. And then I got really sick. I'd always been a kind of sick girl.
Mm.
I have a lot of conditions,
Yeah.
which I won't go too much into here because I don't want to bore you with all of that. But it kind of took that away from me. Like I couldn't then perform the way I used to because it was very high energy. I would do 2 to 3 hours at a time
Whoa.
if given the opportunity. Like very energetic, very almost cabaret. And I
The
found
whole
that I
routine, huh?
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I
Like costumes, like
oh.
different outfits, different makeup, wig changes. Like it was extreme.
Well, my hat's off to
But
you.
yeah.
I couldn't. For one thing, I couldn't put myself out on the stage like that, and have enough confidence that in myself to show other people something like that. Um, to have that type of confidence in yourself is pretty amazing. Not only just the talent, but the willpower to show it to people, and that took quite a mountain to climb, really, for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And you,
I was only little when I started.
yeah.
I
I
like
mean, did it become second nature to you after a while?
Yeah, I think so. I used to be more comfortable on a stage than I was off it. And the reason why I have my channel name is LaceyLoveK is because it's most my name. It's like a sort of mixture of my name. My first name is Lacey Love.
Mm.
And my family used to say that when I was on the stage, I was Lacey Love, and I
Yeah.
was this confident, very animated, enthusiastic character. But when I was off the stage, I went back to Lacey. I was very quiet. I was very shy. I was very timid,
Oh.
and it had become almost this switch on, like Hannah Montana.
Yes.
It was like one day I'm this person, and then by night I'm this person,
You
and
didn't swing on
and
a
it
wrecking ball, did you? At any
no,
point? Oh, yeah.
no wrecking balls were harmed during my singing career. But yeah, it did become like something that was very ingrained into me, but I felt like I did it mostly because I saw how happy it made the people who loved me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I got really sick and I kind of couldn't do it anymore, it took away a lot of what I personally felt didn't mean that they loved me any less. It didn't mean that they adored me any less, but I felt like I could give less for them to be proud of. And so now doing these like streams and everything is like a little performance again. And sometimes my mum will come into the chat and everyone loves my mum more than they love me. You know, and my little brother will play games with me and he'll be on streams with me and they love him too. It's been a real thing to bring me back out of my shell after I'd gone in again after so long.
That's wonderful. You already asked my follow-up question to yourself about once you get to that point and then you are unable to do it through reasons out of your control, which is even worse. Like did it take a while for you to get confidence in yourself again, or did you lose confidence in yourself at all?
Yeah, I definitely did lose confidence, and it's still an uphill battle now. There are some days where I really struggle with myself and my abilities. And I mean, I used to be incredibly able. I would dance like 30 hours a week. Wow. I acted, I did everything. I was very much into the whole like song and dance of the theatre world and the music world, and being able to do all of that and being able to like run 2 miles in 10 minutes and being able to like do like a plank for 3 minutes to now struggling to like some days get out of bed after I had like 2 surgeries back to back was a real confidence shaker in myself, and it does leave you feeling almost like ashamed of yourself in some ways, to be really sad.
Well, to have to learn to walk again is I had to do that myself a couple of times, even at this age. And you feel like you almost feel like every bit of progress that you've made up to that point is gone.
Yeah.
And now you start at zero again and and have to build all that up. I don't wish that on anyone. But it is hopefully fixable over time. Are you better physically?
I will always be unwell. Is sort of my thing, but I am slowly getting back to building up my strength and my ability. I'm getting my fitness back. I've managed to get to the point where this is going to sound so silly. I can do 25 push-ups now,
wow,
which is really big.
Well, I've done 20. Well, I've actually done 23 push-ups.
That's really good. Well,
as of last year,
do them over the space of like an hour.
Talking like my entire life. As of like last month, it was 23. I mean, I could still maybe get one in today, but I'm too tired.
Well, maybe do like one extra today and like push yourself. I mean, do something like, make yourself really proud.
Well,
I believe in you.
But I'll be tired.
Okay, maybe just like do the little thing where you lean on a counter and then do a half push-up.
That I can probably do. See, it's 40 years later and I still haven't finished my high school mile. So I figured one of these days I'll show up and kind of walk a little ways around the track and see if my old physical head coach is still there. Still timing you.
They always seem to be. They never leave.
They don't. They're always there waiting for you. All right, Loy.
They are.
Get back on the track. Coach.
Don't make me do it.
No, I don't want to. I want to play basketball.
I loved basketball.
Oh, I did too. I was terrible. I was really bad. And
so was I. Yeah. It was fun.
It was. I mean, we'd
have gotten well at school.
Yeah, we'd have fouled out in moments. I once fouled out of an intramural basketball game in 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, when you can't do it, you cheat, and it's very tough for people to hit a jump shot when you've smacked them in the back of the head with an elbow.
Oh my god! I got banned from playing rugby because I accidentally ran into a girl and dislocated her knee. So I was. She didn't brace. She didn't brace. I'm just saying it wasn't my fault, and she was always mean to me. Maybe something in me wanted to. No, I'm joking. I would never.
Oh, that's pretty gruesome injury.
No, it was. I felt really bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
but she got a few days off school, and she was fine when she came back.
Yeah.
She was she was cool. She was alright.
Yeah. You'd earned something at that point.
I had earned her fear, and she was. You know, she's never mean to me again, and I didn't even mean to do it. But violence solves nothing, kids.
No.
Violence solves nothing.
No. Sport does.
Sport causes trauma in children.
Right. It certainly does, in more ways than one.
I used to get hit in the face all the time doing sport. It became a running joke.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Bong.
Literally.
Oh, I just have to wonder how tough you had to be to get kicked out of rugby, for crying out loud.
Well, I was very tall. I've always been very tall. From about the age of 14, I was 5'11".
Whoa.
So I was massive.
Yeah.
And all of these other girls are like still just barely touching 5 foot.
Yeah, I never was. I was average or below average in nearly everything. So it was.
Sometimes that's comfier. You just coast,
Yeah.
just coast.
Oh no, I tried, and that's why I fouled a lot, because you got past me, you're going to be tripped.
Oh no!
You will pay one way or the other for getting past me.
That's such a kid solution.
Yes. Yep. And if I was coach today, I'd tell the 12th guy on the team, that's how you do it. I'm putting you into. It's like the goon in hockey. Go out there and foul them.
You've got your mission. Achieve it.
Yes. There's a reason why they don't let me coach my grandkid. No, we'd like him to be popular. Okay. That's
popular, not in juvie.
Yes. Well, with the streaming now, you're doing art streams, aren't you?
Yeah, I do art occasionally. I've not been able to do one for a while, just because we've changed internet provider, so
yeah,
there's always a hiccup.
Yeah.
But we always say it's not a stream without a bit of scuff. But yeah, I love doing art streams. I start by trying to do something like pretty or serious or fun, and it just divulges into me drawing whatever chat whims for me to draw.
I'm going to draw
because we're unhinged.
I'm going to draw a beautiful landscape. It's a unicorn holding a basketball.
Yeah, pretty much. That's almost exactly what happens. But yeah, we do art. Sometimes I do like art for people in the community, and I'll like get them in, especially if it's D&D characters or like an OC, and I'll get them to come in and sit in the VC with me and talk about their characters while I draw with them.
That's cool.
Which is always nice.
Yeah, it kind of helps you visualize them, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%, because the personality is always the important bit in a piece, is you want to get across. If you've got one impression from an art piece, you want to be able to have someone instantly know who that character is.
Yeah.
And what they're about.
And so, have you had backseat artists while you were on stream?
Well, sometimes, I don't know, I kind of like that. It sounds weird. But I will tend to sort of ask chat, does this look right? Or does that look, hey, I'm not like getting the vision here. How would you guys say, like, what's your perspective on how I should fix this? Because sometimes a second set of eyes is good. Everyone's been really respectful. No one's been mean or arrogant or rude to me. We've got a nice little community.
Yeah.
They want to see me succeed.
That's good. That's good. Of course, unless you're playing a horror game, which in case they want to hear you scream.
Yeah, they want to see me fail and cry, and and they have many times.
And they get to succeed while you're doing that.
Yes.
When you got started with it, was that kind of your goal for your community, or did you have a goal for a community?
I think I just wanted to pass the time and have people to talk to. And everything else has just been a happy little accident, a happy little surprise. The channel was slowly growing. and filtering in some very lovely people. And it wasn't until I think there was an update for Space Marine 2 where we suddenly had a stream where there was 200 people in chat and loads of people following, and we went from about 100 followers to like 400 in the space of a stream.
Wow.
And so many of those people have hung around, and it was just that one-off little fluke that has filtered in a lot of people who have the same interests as me and want to sort of, you know, hang around, have stuck around, and that's been really nice. And that was very scary at the time, and my Wi-Fi bandwidth was struggling.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was a nice little poof, and now we've plateaued, and we've settled into a really nice, comfortable place. I think if the channel got massive, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
It would be too much. I don't want to have the whole
Kind of
fame thing.
Yeah, it kind of loses the personal touch a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to like miss what people are saying in chat.
Yeah.
I want to talk to them, and I want to learn about them, and sort of have a friendly but professional relationship with
absolutely
chat.
Professional. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Professional.
Professional.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, I'd like them to tell me things they're excited about.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell them my home address.
No, I will.
You know, we're friends, but we're not that friends.
No,
no, you can't do this to me.
Lacey lives in China.
Beep, beep, beep.
My computer
Here's
says
my social security number.
my computer says China, but my computer's probably wrong. But there you go.
Drats.
Yes.
You've got me.
Even then, not even a place in China, just China.
No, that's the maker's mark. That's where that piece came from.
Oh, well, I've been reading it wrong all these years.
You got one there from California.
Yes.
You got a piece there from, that piece is from Europe.
Yeah, can't get that piece in the United States anymore. Oops, off the soapbox. And, that kind of jump and have somebody come in and stay with you.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot. People get raided every once in a while and get a sudden rise, and that drops in a hurry, and people don't necessarily stick around too long. That's a good diamond to pull out of the coal there.
Yeah, I feel very lucky that you know, so many people want to hang around and want to see me play games and chat with me. I have a friend who, a fellow streamer who found me during that whole Space Marine 2 like massive pop off that we had, who said, you know, I was just looking for someone to get the drops from and get the exclusive stuff, but then I started watching and I had fun, and it was a case of you come for the content, you stay for the streamer.
Yes, exactly.
And I love that sort of rhetoric of you know, you can go and check out streams and see like what people are up to and what they're playing, but when you find a streamer that you're like, oh yeah, this feels right, this feels like home, exactly. This is comfy, I'm having a good time, I'm having a laugh, I want to stay here. Yeah, that's special.
They might come for what's going on the stream, but they stay for the personality. And, and that's what it used to be in the old radio DJ days. Was like that too. You could hear the same song on a bunch of different stations, but you came back for the guy who was playing it or the woman who was playing it.
Oh yeah,
and
the what's it called?
The DJ, disc jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't have them anymore because computers
streaming.
Yeah, they don't
like the
pay people.
Every track's on Spotify or Apple Music now. And...
or YouTube.
It's kind of a lost art, really.
Yeah,
I miss it.
Oh well, I might have been one of the last people in the area who learned how to actually cue up 45 RPM records on a turntable. That was something else. I go hand that to somebody who's like 18 now. I say, go ahead, give it a try, and they'll stick it in their CD player, and it'll be bad.
Yeah,
if they have one.
That's special though.
Yeah, it's nice to know things that nobody cares about anymore.
That's a speciality. That's worth a lot these days.
Welcome to being old.
Experience, darling.
Experience. Yes. Yes, I got plenty of that. I'll trade that for some money. Um,
Oh, isn't that relatable in
oh,
today's age?
absolutely, absolutely. So, are you in a situation now? And if if it's none of my business, just tell me. But are you in a situation right now where you're okay as far as being able to get out and work a little and be at home, and or is it still too much for you at this point?
Oh, that's a loaded question. One I'm fine with answering.
Okay.
Um, I Some days are hard.
Uh,
Um, I After I got very ill, unfortunately, did lose my job.
mm,
They couldn't keep me around. I have been officially declared disabled
yeah.
and signed off of work permanently,
Uh,
which A does not pay very well
no.
because it doesn't pay.
No.
You're left to sort of struggle and support yourself in this country. It's quite difficult, and they are actively axing any support that we do get
Hmm.
further,
Right.
which is but you know,
Yeah.
not going to delve too much into that. So it's difficult, but especially to deal with the mental side of it, of picking yourself up sort of by your bootstraps, and as they say, some days you just can't do that. It's not always viable, and after after I got very ill and after I lost my job, we had a lot of not so good things happen
Mm.
in our family,
Oh,
and
geez. It just when it rains, it pours.
yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to discuss that, so I won't,
No,
because I don't want to
won't
have any
ask.
problems
Not
for
not gonna
you and
ask
your
you.
content.
No, no worries.
Um,
No worries there about me and my content. I just don't want you to be uncomfortable with it, so don't worry about it. Um,
um, yeah, it wasn't great. We had a lot of bereavement. We
yeah.
had someone, my brother was taken from us,
Mm,
and it was very hard. We
yeah.
had a lot of, I suppose, best way to put it is I became very afraid to
Mm,
go out, um, and so some days it is hard
mm.
to function,
Oh man.
but I'm getting myself back there,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
Um, and I'm venturing out. I'm meeting up with old friends. Today I went to just go to a store 2 cities over with a friend because I missed her and hadn't seen her in a while.
Cool.
And tomorrow I'm going to another city with another friend who's very kindly driving me because I can't do public transport 2 days in a row. But it's those little things of slowly being brave
Yeah.
and trying to get myself back to where I used to be. And I'm never going to be the way I used to be because, my body's different, my needs are different, and my ability is different. But I'm trying to slowly build myself back to a place where I'm happy and I'm content and I'm being grateful for what I have and the ability that I do have.
That is wonderful. That I mean, that is pure. That is hot spot right there. If I will use the colloquial term, boulders. Yeah, for what you've described and what you haven't described, you can just kind of hear in your
Mm,
voice when you talk about it. Um, and again, I say that people are the triumph of their circumstances. Um,
yes.
you are actively working towards being that triumph. You already are. I mean, let's face it. I can't imagine when everything was hitting that you were hit about as bottom as you can get. Um,
Yeah.
and to go from what you were able to do before to not being able to do any of it. Um, I don't think that there are a lot of people who can empathize with that situation. Not that empathy is big these days anyway, but to realize the circumstances that you found yourself in. But there's a lot of people that would not have taken steps to try to move forward again afterwards. And I salute you for that.
Yeah, I mean, for a while I didn't want to.
Mm,
For a while I kind of wanted to be bitter.
yeah.
And I wanted to be very angry, and I was.
Mm,
But I realized that that doesn't make for a very happy life.
no.
If you're bitter and angry, you're never going to be happy. And sometimes that's okay.
Mm,
Things happen, and you need to go through those emotions.
yeah.
But if you're constantly looking for things to be bitter and angry about, you will always find it. It's in finding the things that make you happy, whether that be a small, little, tiny detail, or actively going out to pursue a larger happiness, that you can find that comfortability and that peace that you kind of owe yourself, because your younger self would never want to see you in a situation where you're living unhappily.
Mm,
Like, think as a kid, we always think about what we're going to do when we grow up and who we're going to be and how we're going to succeed and all the amazing things we're going to do. And I always think I owe it to her. I owe it to that version of me that wanted everything to now be happy with the little things that I do have.
yeah.
Because I'm never going to achieve what she wanted me to achieve. But that's okay, because do you know what? I have a cup of tea in my hands and I have a beautiful view of the sunset, and that's enough. And I've got people to talk to, and I've got games to play, and I'm very lucky. And I don't want to be angry anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be angry or sad anymore.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, maybe lucky, but you also work to get here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit around and wait for luck to arrive, or you can open up the door and grab it and pull it in.
Yeah, we make our own luck sometimes.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, anybody who watched me play baseball knows that. I got it, bonk.
Well, from what you've said about basketball, I'm more afraid of you playing a game with a bat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Hockey sticks? No, get away from it.
Oh boy.
Yep. I was sharp with the elbows, and then certainly not sharp with my shooting. I'll tell as far as basketball goes. Yeah, you have such an amazing outlook on this. At least what you've shown to me, and what you show on the streams.
Thank you. That's very kind to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's and as I said, there's a lot of people who wouldn't do that. Do you see yourself, not just for you, but for them too, that you want to keep going?
Mm.
People who have
Yeah.
lost things and suddenly sit there with a lot of bleak around them.
Yeah. You've got to be a little bit sunshine, right?
Mm.
Like, you got to do what you can, and if you're helping someone else up, then that's beautiful too. We like to say you have to take tiny ass baby steps. If you can take a step, even if it's a little shuffle, that's something. And sometimes when you're shuffling along, if you just hold a hand out for someone else and say, "Come on, we'll do it together," then that's nice. That's, it's helping people out. That's how we as a society should function. We should help each other. We should be a little bit of sunshine for each other if we can.
Well, you are a gem. You absolutely are. I thank you so much for coming on, and
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a joy. You're a joy.
Well, thank you, but you're the one that needs to keep shining, because we need more folks that show the best side of themselves in situations that would easily call for someone to give up, and you do not do that. Heck, if you were tough enough to get kicked out of rugby.
I'm a big girl. I'm tall. I got, I'm built for it. Let's go.
Oh, I really appreciate it so much. And if there's anything we can do, if you got some big events coming up, that for your channel you want to promote, just let us know. We'll do some updates for you. And I do want to
Thank
get you
you.
back
That's
on
very
soon,
kind.
and before the end of the year, because I want to see what happens. Folks, we're going to have a whole bunch of links up that you can check out what LaceyLove's got going on. And I think you've heard from our interview here. Pretty amazing person that you need to get to know. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.